In this video, I'm going to be talking about where to buy XPS foam. I did a poll on my community page and it turns out nearly 45% of you do not have access, as far as you know, to XPS foam. So I'm going to be making a list of various different places that you might be able to get it, but in this video I'm also going to be talking about 2 new sources that you might not have known about or you might not have considered. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably know what XPS foam is, but if you don't for whatever reason, it's very similar to your standard like polystyrene, but instead of having little balls in it and bobbly bits, the actual foam itself is quite dense. Yes, you can cut it with a knife and shape it and carve it and all that kind of stuff, but it cuts nice and cleanly rather than little balls. But let's get to it, let's talk about the sources. Now, the first new place I want to talk about is actually the Army Painter. Now, you probably have heard of them, they do brushes, they do paints, etc. But they're now going to be selling XPS foam. Now, there's 2 ways of buying that, and they both become live in May 2021, which is actually when I'm recording this video. Now, the first one is a big giant starter box, which is great if you're new to terrain, by the way, but that new starter box includes spray paints, etc., as well as some XPS foam. But they are also going to be selling like an additional box, which is just the XPS foam with a little bit of sandpaper and a little booklet, but it's predominantly just XPS foam, and that's priced in the UK about £15, and you get 15 sheets that are about 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters that are 12mm thick. Now, that 12mm is pretty much about half an inch, so you might be familiar with that if you're American, because I believe your XPS, when you go into a hardware store, is actually sold in inches, whereas in the UK everything is done millimeters because, you know, metric is better. But the reason that this is important is because if it's the Army Painter and you have a friendly local game store, you might be able to get it through them. Now, this XPS might not be something they're going to stock on their shelves, sure, but if they have a distributor and they have some Army Painter products already, if you have a word with them, they may be able to actually put in an order specially for you through the normal distributor, and you might be able to get XPS in a country where typically XPS wouldn't be sold. Now, the second source is one that I'm not sure how long it's been around, but it's actually Aliexpress. And for those of you who don't know, Aliexpress is basically a way of predominantly Chinese manufacturers basically selling stuff around the world without having an intermediary, so no paying fees on eBay, etc. Now, on here you might go on and you might search XPS foam and you won't see anything apart from maybe hot wire cutters, that kind of thing. But if you search modeling foam, you'll see various different, I don't know, companies or whoever it is, various different listings where they are actually selling XPS foam. Now, they're available in a few different sizes, but not like as much as you would if you're getting it through maybe like a hardware store, but they're available in a few different ways and a few different prices. Now, the problem here is when you go on AliExpress, depending on your country, you might have to pay a higher than normal like delivery fee, and you will be waiting quite a while if it's from China, because they're going to put it on the boat and the boat's going to have to sail to you, and it's going to get blocked in the canal, the Suez Canal, that kind of stuff. You know, there might be any kind of delays, but it's available there, and it might be available in your country. It might not, but it's a possibility that I wasn't aware of and now you're aware of, and there'll be links in the description below, as with all of this stuff. And then you have your more standard ways of buying this. If you are in the UK, for example, you can often look online on eBay for underfloor insulation. For example, I've been buying stuff literally today. I bought some 30mm stuff and some 50mm stuff, and they're big, massive, like rectangles of the XPS foam. It's very cheap in comparison to a lot of the different materials. There will be links to that in the description. In the UK, you can buy something sort of similar, which the name of it escapes me at the moment, which is sort of like a foam with a silver layer on top. If you go to like B&Q and that kind of stuff, try to avoid that stuff. It's not as good as proper XPS, and you don't really need to do it because there's links to eBay in the description below. But generally, if you're in America, then you can get XPS foam from like Home Depot and your normal like hardware store. So whatever country you're in, do please check your hardware stores or even eBay. You might be able to get it for a relatively cheap price for massive quantities. If you can do that, then obviously do that. As I said, there will be a link in the description where I'm going to try and keep an Excel sheet. It's a Google Doc sheet of countries and links, and I'm going to try and keep that up to date as much as possible. So do please check that if you are struggling. There are a couple of materials that are sort of similar to XPS foam. Foam board is actually XPS foam sandwiched between paper, basically. Now, in the US, you can very easily buy stuff where it's like easy peel and you're just left with like 5mm, well, probably about 4mm sheets of foam, but perhaps that's not ideal. In the UK, I have to use like my hairdryer and stuff like that and pull it off, but foam board is one way of getting very thin sheets of XPS foam. Another one, which isn't quite XPS but it's quite similar, is to get the expanding foam in a can. Now do be cautious with that because it's quite caustic. It's bad for you if you get it in your eyes and your skin. It's not great for you, so do be aware of those options. They might be available in your country, whereas the XPS foam isn't. But I would really request your help here. If you are in like a country like Spain or whatever, and you know a good link and you know it's not common, please do join the Facebook group, join the post in the description below, comment where it is. I'll then update the Google Drive, the Google spreadsheet, and then anybody who doesn't know where to go can maybe click the link in the description. There shouldn't be any like affiliate links. I'm not going to try and make money off this or anything like that. They're just going to be straight up links, as far as I know, to where to buy it. Now if somebody gives me an affiliate link, there's nothing I can do about that. I won't necessarily know, but you know, just as far as I know, it's going to be straight links, easy in the description. Please join, please help, and if you can't currently buy it, then I hope this helps you in any way. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video. Goodbye.